So,
Yes.
what do you find usually happens? So I'm curious. If we start with the fox bit, like, what would you say usually happens when you're like fighting campy fox on like Battlefield or Dreamland? What are they doing?
Um, I guess it depends. Like sometimes they're like, I guess dash dance camping, like especially on Dreamland.
Mm-hmm.
Not, which I think I also struggle with because I don't know. I feel like I am not probably not patient enough with trying to like close space, and then I just run in with like a really like telegraph boost grab or something like that a lot of the time,
Yeah,
and
try to
then
scrap maybe at a rezone where we don't actually have the ability to do so, something like that.
yeah.
So I have pulled this set because I think like this match because I think this is a good demonstration of like how that can happen. You've got Joshman
Mhm.
versus Spark. So from Altitude Sickness earlier this year. So let's take a look at what do you notice about how Joshman's playing and how Spark is playing?
Um,
Like, is this the type of fox that you would have trouble with?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, he saw him use the platform a little bit there and kind of like dash dancing a bit, like kind of far away. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he's gonna use the platforms I think for an approach in a bit. Like, it's kind of like it creates a timing mix-up, doesn't it? Like, because normally we were
yeah,
expecting him to come down from this full hop like sooner. Like
mm,
when Spark comes up here, we're expecting Fox to come down from this full hop like around the time that Spark has done his grab for. But then by landing on the platform, he just doesn't have to.
yeah,
So then he gets this kill. So like there's a timing mix-up component. So like there's kind of a need to do more aerials, I think. Like we have to get into
hmm,
spots where we can set up aerials more effectively, and I think that the other thing that's annoying about this position about this like style in general is like when Joshman goes up onto that side platform, he actually has like some pretty good approach. Like he has a very long approach threat range. Like when he's here,
yeah,
because like he could potentially attack like coming off here. He could also like run off and do it. He can also jump up here. Like he has a lot of like he has like a couple of key paths that like are fairly consistent, and I think that if we have to be aware of those because they just we can't get hit by like drills from here. Like we can't get hit by drill in center stage or like falling up here in center stage. That's like too much damage. So
yeah,
I think that like we can agree like where does Fox's short hop bring him? Like here?
yeah. That looks about right to me.
Okay, cool. And then if he runs off the platform, he goes to about here.
Yeah,
Cool. So the one thing I want to point out here too is there's kind of like an in-between zone because like he can also short hop like and not go as far, but there's kind of like a zone where it's like difficult for him to get behind, like go further back. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like further than the runoff, but shorter than like that. Yeah,
exactly. So like this is a threat zone and then this is a threat zone basically. But then there's like kind of a home free in between those two spots.
hmm,
So I would say that a common goal as the Sheik player here is trying to find this spot.
I see.
Because once you're in that position, one of the things you can do is you can kind of like dance and weave around these different zones, right? And they offer
Yeah,
different like positional mix-ups as well. Because we could also like get under him over here, which has certain pros and cons. So like we have baiting games in between these spots, like baits here. We also have baits here. And then we also have the option, weirdly enough, like if he's waiting as well, we can just head up and cut the space in front of him with our superior moves. Like full hop Bair here is like actually gnarly.
yeah,
Like you can see how this would work. Like it's just boom. Like Bair. And just cuts them. The other cool thing is that you don't necessarily have to do it like so like away from him. You can also, depending on how he's moving, you can also do it in place. You can also use your short hop, like short hopping here and then double jumping this way or this way can also allow you like different attack angles on your Bair that are not like that are other that you know other aren't available with like a single jump. So I think
yeah.
that like Bair angles in this position to create cutoffs in front of this area or this area is like really important.
Hmm,
Aside from that, The other thing I'd keep in mind is we don't necessarily have to approach. We can also just, like, charge our needles too. Like, we should probably, like, fight with him, because we want to fight with him. Our moves are, like, good. But taking the second to charge needles over here is not the worst idea in the world either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, let's formalize that. So, like, maybe if we're over here, we can, like, this might be, like, needles. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what happens further, because, yeah, I think that these two are very by the book, and they have, like, good playstyles, so, yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
We're already seeing more aerials from Spark, too, which I think because he had that back air coming down, and I think he's going to have more aerials in a second. Yeah, is that fair? That back air?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kaboom. So this I think looks... You've probably seen, like, this kind of situation before. Versus Campy Fox. So, like, what do you think Spark has to do in order to win here? Like, how does he have to, like, seize... Like, how does he turn this around?
Like, this game in particular, or just, like, how...
Yeah, he wins this game.
He's playing in general. Oh, he does win this game?
Yeah, he comes back on this.
Well, the first thing I can think of is just, like, getting some, like, early percent edge guards and stuff. Like, that's kind of the Sheik way to bring it back, but, like...
Josh Man's not really, like, giving him much to work with, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other hard thing, is that if they're not running into you when you're in the corner, then it's a lot harder to get that.
I think this is really good neutral. Like, the way that he's being so composed and, like, didn't run into the down tilt, you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. Like, yeah, I think this is something I struggle with, too, is just, like, trying to, like, move forward and, like, take space without, like, just running in willy-nilly, and being okay with just, like, moving without specifically, like, trying to do an attack to hit him. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, so let's maybe talk about what he is doing then. Like, so what is he doing while they're fighting in this? Like, once they get down to the ground, let's look at how they move in relation to each other, because I think that's really where, like, a lot of the magic happens here. Let's slow this down to half. So, what do you think? Like, with how these two are positioned here, what do you think they're both trying to? They're both, like, testing the other to basically say, like, come in.
Yeah.
Because it's like Sheik back air, Fox up tilt, like, or back air. Like, they're both, like, they're both in a stance that, like, indicates that they have a vested interest in keeping the other out. So I think that this is something we can flag, because this gives, if we have this situation in a match, this gives us information as to, like, what the players are going for. So, like, they both have back-to-back. And we know that at this kind of distance from each other, this is a gross-looking picture, that's okay. That back-to-back, like, they're both playing keep out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're both representing back airs and up tilt, like back airs and up tilts, so that kind of vibe. So with that in mind, let's see what happens. And as we can see, like, Spark makes good on that, as does Joshman, because they both, like, take more defensive positions. And now Spark advances forward with this run, and then sees the Fox, like, landing on the ground, and knows that the Fox will be able to, like, act before he gets there. So he very wisely wave dashes back.
Yeah.
I think he could have possibly punished that, maybe, but maybe he was a little too far. Like, either way, like, it was the next jump he does is clearly to, like, continue, like, controlling space. And then from here, you can see, like, Joshman almost gets clipped by this.
Yeah, he's really close.
Yeah. So, like, Spark is going for, like, hits, but he's, like, being careful to, like, bait them out and look for very specific things before he's, like, he looks for, like, an opening before he actually goes for it.
Yeah, and, like, he didn't get punished for going for that dash tech, because it...
Yeah, he was so...
The way he did it, like, it was pretty safe. It was either going to hit or not be punished.
Exactly. So waiting to the last second and having some patience made his haymaker safer, which is an interesting way to think about it. So now let's look at this. So we did get an early game kill, as you predicted, would be the way like back in here. What happens here? Let's speed this up a bit. They're both like really patient.
Yeah. Ooh.
He doesn't bite.
Seeing Josh Sheik is really funny.
Mm-hmm. Gets that. Oh, that was good. So what do you think's going through his mind right now in terms of like what do you think's going through Spark's mind and Joshman's mind?
That's a good question. I feel like Joshman would be trying to like tell himself to like remain composed and don't like get too antsy or like complacent, I guess.
Look at this bait. And then underneath.
Yeah.
So he goes here, he hits him here, then maneuvers out of the spot where Joshman thinks he's going to go, and then gets this grab. And you can see that this plays off the zones that we identified earlier, right?
Yeah, like he's just outside of the...
off the runoff aerial zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a way that this is one way you can bait the platform camping fox. Remember, platform camping fox doesn't have a move that beats Sheik's back air. So he needs to outposition it or outplay it with like his shield or something in some capacity, you know? Like he doesn't have something that's bigger and more disjointed and powerful than her like back air, so he just has to deal with it. And because of that, Spark knowing this, you can see how he's kind of like using that threat to like kite Joshman into certain positions. Because like Joshman has to go around it, he can't fight here through it, so then he goes in front, he plays off the runoff zone, and then hits him.
Yeah, I see.
Structure. Because it's just there's a limitation of Fox's offense because of the platform here. He doesn't have all his approach angles if he wants to attack the floor. There's spots that catch him, like an umbrella, like an evil umbrella. And there, you see like how Spark is going for that opening a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then uses CC. This is the other thing. Remember, you're going to be doing more aerials, so like using your CC where possible to like get more value out of your stock, very, very important.
Yeah, I definitely don't do that very well. That's another thing.
We're also seeing more like we're also seeing mainly back airs, but also some nairs. It's like the high duration that we're really valuing here, not so much like the immediate impact of fair, like the instant like power of fair, or like up air's awkward hitbox. Like up air's like high impact, but like ultimately kind of wonky hitbox compared to like nair, compared to like back air really, and then nair is kind of like an alternative space control tool. But I think back air is king here. We just see like it's just this is so well played. Like, how does he get this hit again? So he gets this, gets the back air, down smash, frame trap, let's go. Gets the RTC. Hard read up smash, my baby, let's go. Dash attack fair, let's go. But do you see why I picked this one, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, it's all like the way that Spark gets all of his hits here from like this point onwards is just by manipulating, like just like playing off of the edges of the platforms and like how they've either stopped Joshman from having certain zones or how he was able to bait him using that property as well. So it's just he's just completely out positioning him. And there's so much back air. Remember, because he's going in the air a lot, we don't want to force things like up air and up tilt, like up air and tilts, because that's exactly what they think through. Like that's why that's what they're looking out for basically. Because the ones below, like the tilts are just free hits, and the up air is like the thing that's scariest. So like, by Spark playing to his disjoint advantage with his back air, it's like, and then just kind of like bobbing and weaving under the ground underneath him after, and being patient about when Josh Ban goes to other spots. Like, he's just really taking the exchanges that his like pattern is like designed to beat, and he's just being patient about that.
Yeah.
I take it like you'd like to take lots of hits. Like, you like to look for lots of hits, right?
Yeah, I think if I like remember the set that I was talking about that I lost, I feel like I was kind of doing what you were saying not to do, like the just go for like up airs and like and like tilts and stuff, trying to like yeah. I feel like I wasn't really doing like the back air to like control space and then like playing around the zones like you were talking about.
Yeah, so like once Josh Man dies and the camera pans out here, the one thing I want to emphasize about this stage in general is that like when you're fighting this playstyle, is the key choke points of the map are like basically here and here.
Yeah.
Like all of the magic happens in one of those two boxes. And if we think about like what if Sheik's moves are like the best at covering this space, there's like one clear answer.
Yeah.
Bair, my beloved. So with that in mind, do you want to explore, like, I think that this is the type of matchup, though, in general, where, like, there's not a whole lot to it after this. Like, Dreamland is just this, but bigger.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's value in exploring this further, or do you want to move on to, like, those Peach games?
We can do the Peach games. Like, I think that was already like, pretty helpful, even though it was, yeah, like you said.
It was like 15 minutes.
Not. Yeah.
This is this is a crash course, and like I can acknowledge that. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, sauce me the Peach games, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
All right.
And we fought. This is Malachi. You know, top 50 player, I think.
Yeah, I'd look it up after just to see. But yeah, he was 46 on the summer rankings, so.
Yeah, so, like, talk to me. When fighting Peach, what are your thoughts? And
That's a great question.
And which one's, like, the... Okay, so is FD...
This is the Forsag. Yeah.
Let's start with the Dreamland game. There's going to be more to dig in there.
Yeah, this game was rough. But yeah, the Dreamland game... I didn't think this game was that bad. Like, I feel like I kept up pretty well, and then, like, he kind of just ran away with the last two stocks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really that comfortable in this matchup in general. I feel like
Okay, talk.
I feel like I kind of struggle in some spots, just like dealing with basic Peach stuff, like I don't know, like floating with a turnip or like kind of turnips in general, but also like I just get down smashed and like obliterated too much. I feel like in general, like just like the basic Peach stuff, I kind of find myself sometimes struggling with, and then sometimes I feel good in this matchup. So it's very, I don't know. This is one of those matchups I feel similarly about like Samus, where like I feel like if I'm playing well, then this matchup is really easy, and if I'm playing like a bit off, then it's like a disaster.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So, this is actually more common than you might think. So here's what I'm going to say to start. So you begin the match with this very fancy like Waveland Bair.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're jumping really far away from him. But here's the thing. My question here is, why are we wavelanding into Peach so far, when we could just shield drop and like still space this back air more carefully and hit her like with the tip of it?
Yeah, that makes sense because you don't want weak Bair here.
Yeah. So here's what I would say in general. I would have actually just full hopped like more straight up, not exactly straight up, but like just at a more direct angle.
Yeah.
Because the reason for that is I want to put out my back air like so. Like if this is Sheik's back air hitbox, and like then she's got the weak hit here, I want my back air to be out like this, because when I'm coming up, because I want to hit her. Like, I want to hit her with the tip of my foot and then land on the platform so I can follow up on that, potentially.
I see, yeah.
The other thing I can do is I don't necessarily have to bear right away either. Like, I can also full hop up towards this platform, and then as I reach the top of the platform, I can turn around and needle. Because I can shoot like this. Which also stops her if she comes towards us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then if the needle hits, what do? We'd, like, run off platform fair? Or shield drop, like, shield drop fair, like, and then combo her? Yeah, exactly. Like, we just keep going. So what I would want to emphasize with Peach is that, like, Peach is a lot of, like, small structures. Like, it's a lot of, like, 1-2 punches. Like, back air into run off fair. Needle into run off fair forward tilt. Like, it's just boom, boom, like, just very simple to, like, compact setups. And then, like, playing off what she does. Because the thing is, by us going to this platform, too, what if, like, what do you think goes wrong? What, she, like, drops her float, I guess, and goes to the floor? But that's not even that bad for us, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what we've done effectively by doing this is we've, like, cut her off from any space. Any space that is not hit by this, like, needle line, she has been boxed out of effectively. So we have, like, we've actually, like, limited, like, anything behind about here, she can't really use. So we've established positioning, and the other cool thing is, like, if she floats, like, with where she's floating, we can also land and shoot her straight, if we wanted to. Probably not here, but, like, because it's only 3 damage, but, like, you know, you never know.
If you, like, have more, yeah.
Isn't it cool? We've kind of, like, so in a way, we've sort of isolated her to, like, this section of the stage.
Yeah.
And this is probably a lot more manageable, all things considered, than where she was. Because, like, all of this is being blocked off, so she has to go there.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. So this is a common mistake, don't worry, like, that I want to address. A lot of times people hit this like this, and then they immediately think, I'm going to forward tilt. The thing is, the actual answer here is back air again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Back air again, or if he goes for this nair, what you can do is you can dash dance and you can, like, run under her and shield, and then shield grab the nair, or dash dance grab the nair. Both work. Because you don't want to, like.
Yeah, what about CC? Is that?
I mean, like, it works, but why take the damage?
Yeah, I guess.
Also, like, it's not that I'm nervous about CCing versus her per se, but, like, it's just that her nair is very powerful.
Yeah.
Like, it inflicted tumble, right? So, like, if she doesn't need a whole lot in order, like, if you're not CCing, like, if you're ASDIing down, it doesn't work. So I just feel like we're just playing with fire when we don't have to, when we have shield and, like, dash dance anyway, and she's slow.
Yeah.
So with this, let's see here. How does this happen? Okay, full hop there. So I have a feeling that this is probably something that comes up versus the other ones. But, like, so the full hop bear in that spacing is pretty dangerous. I would say short hop bear.
Okay.
Or double jump bear. So, like, how double jump bear would work would be, like, we'd short hop to about here and then double jump up with bear. Because this keeps us out of, like, this keeps us from being crouch cancel down smashed. Because we're moving so quickly away from her.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So, like, this is a big deal. And you can see that she gets out of her shield quickly because of her float. So, like, she's actually quite good at dealing with, like, hits on her shield if they actually do, like, connect on her shield. So, unless she's on the ground. Like, when she's on the ground, it's a little different, but the moral of the story here is basically, like, we don't want to, like, give Peach the opportunity, like, we don't want to play to Peach's strengths. She's slow, so, like, she commits pretty hard in advance to, like, the positions she wants to play. So, yeah, we just play to that. This is great. All of this so far is, like, phenomenal. Nice, got the kill. Yeah, that stock was amazing. Like, so this up air is a little weird. I would have been tempted to fair, but, like, I think that the up air is actually better because, like, on hit. Because, yeah, it just creates, like, a better sharking position. But the interesting thing is you kind of back off from it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, do you think that you can't, like, get a follow-up here?
No, I think I can probably do like another up air. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, because you aim here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the way that her hurt box works here is, do you know where the hitbox on her nair is?
I feel like I don't, because that move is like I so often I'm like, wow, that nair is gigantic. But I think it's like sort of where her arms are, but it just feels way bigger than that. I don't know.
It's basically like here.
Yeah.
And then the rest of her is vulnerable. So, like, the way that this would work is, like, all of this is basically vulnerable.
Yeah.
So, like, everything here. Yeah, everything here, and then her head kind of sticks out, actually. So it's not really, like, up here. It's more like, yeah, because her head is a hurt box. So you want to aim here and here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of obvious when like we spell it out like this, but it is a wacky move. Like I'm not gonna I won't lie to you, Swiz. It is a weird move. But yeah, like there's obviously things we can do about it. I would say aiming here or here is good. So how like this would be like we aim for like stuff like fairs here, and then here like up airs, back airs, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this could have like definitely been like a full hop up air, for sure. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's better. Yeah, I think that's just like we attack like this basically. You could also like make a case that it's turn around and go like this way with back air. Like Bair from here or up air from below, I think are both very strong here, and make a ton of sense. You could also make a case for slapping her, because if you slap her, because slap begins above you, so you just like hit her when she's about here.
Yeah.
So you can like hit her here and then like slap her again and then just like keep hitting her. Up air is easier to work with, but I think that the slap and Bair the slap I think is actually the best play here in terms of impact. And you can see how we're just like keeping her in like a spot where she can't. We're prioritizing efficiency a lot with our combos, because we're not like taking like big hits so much as we're just like auto cancel fair into another auto cancel fair into edge guard, like boom boom, 1-2 hits, and then like move on with our day. That nair is somewhat suspect.
Yeah, I think I was trying to short hop nair. Which always still isn't great, but
yeah. So Peach Float, how to fight Peach Float 101, because you're trying to cut off this float basically, right?
Yeah.
So the problem with this nair is that it moves you like this basically, right? So then she just gets to see how you're doing it and then like respond to it how she needs to. What I think is better in general is to dash forward and then jump back with your aerial. So like how this would work is like somewhere on this line we would then like curl upwards like this, and then we can slap her on the way up. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the jump motion always goes like a little bit like backwards. We're also doing the backflip.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the other good thing about this is that because we're dashing forward, we're also able to, like, quickly, like, increase the range of it. So if she's facing towards us, for example, we're more able to rush her down and get into her zone quickly than if we were, like, facing away from her. Because when we're facing away, we're just kind of, like, are stuck back airing unless we change directions. But if she's facing if we're facing towards her, you know, it's easy to rush down fairs and things like that because we can actually like rely on our dash speed.
Yeah.
So dash forward and then short hop or full hop back. It's a very clean setup, and I think it's very good versus this kind of thing too, because like we basically just come up in like rising fair here, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, to me, this just looks like attack angles. Like, that was good. Like, the back airs, like, I'm not sure I would go for, like, needles after this. Because the needles are basically in case she crouches, right?
Yeah.
But what would she be crouching into? Like CC down smash, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I would just say that, like, jump in place. Either, like, wait and try to grab it and try to grab the punish after, or just, like, do another spaced back air, like, basically immediately.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, like, this is, again, the big thing with Peach is that, like, she doesn't actually, as long as we outrange her, like, immediate options, she's slow when she comes over to hit us. So punishing her by baiting her out in these spots, by, like, doing, like, double back air, like, very quick 1-2 punches that are, like, just generally good against her things, very good way to apply pressure to her. She's kind of like she's a character who folds mainly to, like, good, like, simple setups. You don't need to be too fancy against her, but you do need to be clean.
Yeah.
I get the feeling you're more of, like, a creative. You strike me more as a player who's, like, more on the creative side, as opposed to, like, the flowcharty side. I don't know if that's true, but, like, that's just the vibe I get.
Maybe. I don't really know.
Okay. I mean, this is basically Smash Brothers astrology, so, like, who am I to say that I'm right anyway, right?
No, I'm just like Mango.
Everyone is just like Mango. Maybe we're all Mango, in a way.
Actually, no, I'm just like Pekka. I just watched Ping Pong for the first time, so...
Really? Oh my god. I haven't seen Ping Pong.
It's pretty good. I understand why so many melee players like it now.
Okay, so we're now Zelda. This is good. I actually think that was very good use of Zelda.
Yeah.
I think that, like... No! Okay. So let's talk about this edge guard. So the first thing I'm going to point out is, like, you don't have to, like, do this double jump ever here.
Mm-hmm.
So, because, like, if you just short, like, if the thing is, Peach can't actually go above your short hop here. Because remember, when she comes in at an angle.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a thing that, like, happens with Peach's recovery that a lot of people are not super good about, which is, actually, I will challenge you. When do we actually have to act versus Peach? Like, when do we have to make our decision versus Peach, like, with our edge guard? It's probably, like, more gentler like that. Like, this is probably the edge hog zone.
Yeah, just like when she's close enough to, like, quickly go to ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's also, like, a spacing. Remember, if we're, like, short hopping in place as Sheik, and we're representing, like, our back air, right? Or our fair, or whatever the heck we're doing. Like, probably our back air, because, like, she's right here. What happens if she loses her height if she, like, stays outside of that zone, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So let's formalize that. So she has to, like, stay behind, unless she wants to get hit, she kind of has to stay behind, like, here, like where a rising back air hits. Because, yeah, like, that's a powerful hit. So this is about where it would, like, connect from, like, this position. So then with this in mind, what are her ways down here? She could, like, try to fast fall to the edge here from here, right?
Yeah.
But it probably gets hit by our back air if we fall with it too, or if, like, we just, like, let it run and then fast fall ourselves, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're creating a bunch of traps for her. So, like, what we've done here is she can't fast fall here because of us occupying it. So this is out, like, this is gone. So with that in mind, where else can she go? Well, she
can drift right, yeah.
But then she's starting to lose her height.
Yeah.
So like this is like this like an edge guarding structure that I kind of like worked on, that I used versus Armada a long time ago. Not exactly in this form. Like I think I was facing the other way, but it's really good because what she basically has to do is she has to trick you in this zone basically. Like she has to trick you around here. Because like this is where she'd go through it or like grab the edge, but then again we have like so many threats, and she has to drift in at the right time relative to our edge grab too, for any of this to work. So I would say that like just keeping like you want your movements to be as tight as possible here, and to keep the option to grab the edge, or another common one that's actually really good here is run off and slap.
Yeah.
Because if she's like teasing the outside of this and tries to like play a guessing game with do I go for the edge or stage, a lot of times you can run off and slap her here, and it'll get her interchangeably. So this is like this general like area is very important to know, and I would say that like all the magic happens in like as she approaches like this kind of like this first line, and then the next one is as she approaches the edge. So this is like the first checkpoint. This would be like the first checkpoint. And then this would be like the second. This over like space is where the second one would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where she is in relation to this ball, kind of.
I see.
Does this make any amount of sense?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
It's... Yeah, I think I see. I feel like I have to, like...
You have to, like, play with it
a bit with... Yeah.
But the concept really makes sense, right? Because, like, we're basically draining her height with our position, or forcing her to take a hit. Nair.
Yeah.
Because of the turnip.
Yeah.
What is it about this matchup that you find gets like complicated? Like you mentioned that like you're not sure what to do a lot of the time. So what is it? What are you not sure about generally? Because you look pretty good here. I'm not gonna lie. Like this all looks pretty good. Like for the most part, there's nothing really like glaring that I've seen. So I'm just curious as to like, do the parts that you're not as confident in come up, or like, yeah, what's the deal here?
Well, I feel like it is like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I do kind of get owned the rest of this game, I'm pretty sure. So maybe it'll come up, but like yeah, I think I kind of just get peached too easily. Like I'll just get down smashed and like then like rinse and repeat edge guarded and then die, or I'll just like
and you keep trying. You're like stuck on that platform. You were stuck on that platform there.
Mm-hmm.
So you got like hit there a few times. Do you know like how to deal with those aerials, or like is it just was that execution, or do you not know how to deal with these? Like here, we'll watch it again.
Yeah, watching it back, I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel.
Well,
yeah.
In general, the solution to Peach and air-to-air is to back air.
Yeah.
So like, especially on the platform. So like here, so if we go up here and we go forward, like the big thing that stands out to me is that like we're so committed to this like dash forward, but imagine if we had just dash danced back away from it and like shield draw back aired.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that like, especially when Peach is approaching at this platform height, like we don't want to be like really attacking towards her like this. Like this is a big no-no. What we really want to be doing is we want to be like moving a little bit away. We want to like change gears here and go back away from her, and then just kind of come through it with like Bair, because like Bair just like kind of like hard counters whatever she does here like aggressively. I'm trying to think if there's anything that she has that beats this hitbox here, but I don't think she does. The other cool thing is you can also just shoot her with needles. Like there's no reason we had to like come over this aggressively. If we go back even just a smidge, you can totally see what I mean. Like, the shield is a problem here, I think. Because we could have also just, like, short hop needled or something, had we, like, been more actionable.
Yeah.
Because, like...
there's no reason to shield there, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it's the 45-degree angle with the needles, and, like, the... Kind of like the... Back here almost has, like, the opposite of it. Like, it has it, but going upwards. So, yeah, like, those two are very, very essential for, like, how she, like, controls the air in general. And the platform kind of gives her both, which is why it's such a good... Which is part of why it's such a good position for her. Good effort on the trick. Sometimes you just have to come back and take the damage.
Yeah.
On this stage especially, I like doing it just because we can land on the side platforms and, like, look for the wispy cancel. We can also, like, just kind of wait for a while. Like, we can go, like, we can recover for a while against Peach before she kills us. These could have been, these back airs can be followed up upon. So, like, we hit this one, and then, like, when we see him drifting away, what do you think we could hit on him here?
Like after we land the back air, like
yeah,
maybe like
like yeah, run over and slap him.
Yeah,
and you like it's a small thing, but like you see, like you could have done that on a bunch of these, and by not having that, like by not getting that advantage, like it does make a difference. There's that double jump again. You can see what I mean. Like we don't have to do that because like. We could just, like, jump here, slow fall, and then grab the edge, and then just immediately come up with, like, ledge hop back air right after. And it would hit him because he's, like, dropped with the umbrella.
Yeah.
So I think it's, like, the edge guarding structure is, like, already, like, is a big place where I can see you getting a lot of, like, bang for your buck. And the other big one is just... Yeah, like, what are we doing with our platforms and hitting off, like, stray hits, like, converting off stray hits a bit more.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this fair. So I know that this fair isn't, like, this fair is not, like, really that bad of a fair, but one thing I would also emphasize on her is, like, try to pull back more. We want, like, spacing is the name of the game here. Like, I would even fast fall away from her here. Do you know how to do you know how to do that?
Yeah, you talked about it last time. I haven't practiced it.
Okay, open Uncle Punch for me, because like this is kind of important.
I don't know if I can share my screen because my computer can handle that.
Okay. If that's the case, oh, know what we could do? Actually, no, because that will interrupt us. Make a note. This jump arc, like this jump trajectory is the type of one, like I'll save the image, but like this jump trajectory when you get to about here is absolutely one where we would like fast fall away from her, because this is really important for like, because you can see that we don't want to drift back away from her in the sense that like we don't want to delay our fast fall here because we're in such a good spot. But what the fast fall away really does is it puts Sheik here instead of here.
Yeah.
And you can see how much better this is, right?
Yeah, like outside the shield grab range.
Outside her narrative shield range, outside her shield grab range, outside her umbrella range, outside her double jump land down smash range. Like, there's a lot of things there's a lot of threats she has out of shield. Like, there's kind of a magic, like a bubble around her here. That, like, we don't want to, like, land... We don't want to land anywhere, like, around here, basically.
Yeah.
And there's kind of, like, it's kind of bigger than that, because there's also, like, that she can full hop the nair, so there's kind of, like, a cone on it, but, like... Yeah, there's this... Actually, yeah, we'll do a proper image. So let's do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. Cool. So there's, like, kind of a cone, like we said, that hits... in either direction, like this and this, because like this would be her full hop nair basically.
Yeah.
So like we want to avoid the cone. In addition to the cone, we also want to avoid float aerial, or sorry, nair to shield, short hop nair, which is actually still captured by the clone. Cool. And then yeah, then she'd have her down smash, her double jump land down smash, and her shield grab, which would be like here and here. So, like, this is kind of like her threat range out of shield. It's huge because she's got so many different ways of, like, attacking out of shield. So, like, this is, like, this is actually, like, really vital to get this spacing. Because this is the difference between having to do a frame trap and being, like, chased by, like... This is the difference between being able to, like, sit in your current spot and, like, attack again versus having to reposition. And then potentially she, like, then starts floating at hyper floating at you and, like, chasing you while you're repositioning. And then you're unhappy because it's like she's suddenly rushing you down from your advantage state.
Yeah.
And you know exactly what I'm talking about too. They just like book it and come at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens because we're misspaced. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think we can find, like, other spots, probably. I'm actually really curious, because I think that, like, protecting your landing on FD is, like, super, super, super vital in this one. So I'm really interested to see if this is, like, something that comes up on FD as well.
It probably does. I got destroyed on FD, but so it probably does, I would guess.
I expect... Oh, wait, that's Dreamland. My bad. So... Needles makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, first thing that happens, right? Like,
yeah.
Because, like, we could have just fast fallen away. And then where do you think we land if we fast fall away?
Like a little bit to the right. I don't know, just like definitely like outside of like shield grab range.
So this is where you land. This is where you land, and then this is where you would have landed.
Yeah.
Like, that's so much better, right?
Yeah.
So, like, fast fall away. Because, yeah, like, this is already, like, not fast falling away has already cost us, like... And you can, like, delay by, like, a frame to get a little more drift. Like, delaying a fast fall by 1 or 2 frames is not the end of the world. But, like, you can see, like, she's just so equipped to do it. And the thing is, if we had been spaced outside of that shield grab range, like, imagine if we were here, right? We can then we can actually just, like, attack again if we want to. Like, you can jump in again. We can, like, grab. Like, we could grab. Like, we have everything we do works. On that note, do you know that Sheik's crouch goes under Peach's grab?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, so that's another thing that's kind of useful. We can also just, like, crouch below Peach grab.
I see.
Like, she might double jump land, like, down smash or something, or, like, float in air. But, like, crouch under grab is still, like, a very useful, like, thing. And it also goes under her, like, full hop narrow to shield and, like, I think... Yeah, full hop narrow to shield as well. So, like, very, very handy thing. We got hit by the peach cheese.
Yeah, this was bad.
I mean, like... So you try to jump again. When this is happening, what's your plan? It's okay if you don't have one.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should at least tried the spot dodge or something instead of jumping. I don't know.
So there's actually some really cool stuff you can do about that here. So something that me and KJH like came up with a while ago, that I think would be really good here is there's an option select you can do, where you spot dodge. You, like, shield, and then you spot, like, you, with the C stick, I think you buffer, yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's the C stick. You basically shield here, and then input the spot dodge in the window where her dash attack would hit your shield.
I see, yeah. It's like, yeah, so you would spot dodge the grab, but you wouldn't spot dodge the dash attack so you can, like, shield grab it.
Exactly. So I would say, like, the input is, like, a little weird, but, like, basically when you're shielding like so, it would be as she, like, comes over and, like, is about here, or, like, maybe here, then it's Yeah, C stick down as like C stick down on the frame. No, when her dash attack would put you in hit lag or shield. When her dash attack would put you in hit lag, or connect on your shield.
Yeah.
When DA would hit.
Well, does it matter if it's C stick down or not?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah.
I for some reason I thought that it did because I guess it's like it's a buffer thing, but I guess it doesn't really matter, I guess, because you're just like flicking it, right? Like you're not holding it or anything.
Yeah, well, because you're not gonna buffer anyway, because you don't want to.
True. So it's like either.
You're only spot dodging if you're not in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think that this makes sense. So like this will beat both. This will beat either or, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ah, we're jumping in Peach's face in the corner.
Yeah.
So, one thing I would say here is, what do you think will happen if you just, like, run under her?
Yeah, that's what I, like, thought of immediately, like, what I should have done. I mean...
Mm-hmm. Like, we're just, like, trying... So, the whole thing... All I'm seeing right now is we are just trying to fight this guy in the corner when we don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to out-scrap the best scrap character in the game, and it's not going our way.
I don't know what that backer was.
Yeah. But yeah, like, this is, we're playing in Peach's element.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say here is that, like, we're not really, like, addressing what he's doing very effectively. So what I mean by that is, we hit this fair on him in a second. And then we're standing here, and we're going for a jump again, but I'm like, we're going to get hit by this. We need to get out of the way here. Or shield.
Yeah.
Because we're also at the very tip of his down smash range, so if the first hit of down smash hits our shield, and then the others don't, it's really easy to wave dash grab out of shield on that. It's when it's like multiple hits, right? So I feel like we need to have better planning around this. Yeah, so like this one, I would this one I think is just, yeah, we could be dashing out of the way, like, which makes a ton of sense. We could also be blocking, that also makes a ton of sense. And then yeah, either way, like on either of those we get the punish. I actually think that this jump still could have worked, but it looks like you're wave dashing.
Am I? Let's see.
1, 2. Oh no, you just got hit on the second frame. It's the smoke that confused me. Yeah, like we shield or block. No, shield or like dash, and either of them is fine. In general, what kind of spacing do you like to keep versus Peach? What do you say?
I guess, like, trying to stay in like range where I can threaten, like, tip or back air, like, easily. I guess I don't really know.
Gotcha.
Like, not too close, but like close enough to, yeah, do like a dash away, like backflip Bair or something like that.
You're playing way too close.
Yeah.
So like the magic zone versus Peach is right outside, like at a spot where you can like basically you want to be able to deal with her dash attack burst offense, because like she's slow, so she doesn't have many other overshoots. So you want to be like just at a comfortable range where you can like shield or jump around or like outspace her dash attack just barely, because then that will also keep you close enough to punish the turnip.
Yeah, I see.
So you're just playing, this is just a spacing thing in the matchup. Like, we're not spacing at the range we want. So once we get this follow-up, let's try to figure out, yeah, where would that spacing be, you think? Like, from when we get hit here. Like, how close do we want Peach to be for us to have the, like, anti-dash attack spacing?
Well, definitely so closer than this.
Yeah, let's move Peach then. So where should she be? Or where should Sheik be, rather?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that seems reasonable.
It's a little far for me, but it's like, it's definitely workable.
Yeah,
it's not like, again, this is spacing, so it's gonna be like, it's not quite as exact of a science. That's a little too close. I'd say like here to here, either of these spots, like somewhere between like here and here, like yeah, anywhere in this kind of range is probably fine. Because like, yeah, you can see how her range, how her dash attack burst would work, and like from this distance, we can kind of like maneuver with our superior speed in the space in front of her, because her dash attack hits basically like here-ish, like out from her, right? So
yeah,
we're able to like use our movement because we're quicker than her to like kind of engage like this way. Like we can dash dance here. We can like dash forward and then like wave dash back. We can also still go for our jumps, kind of like with dash forward, like kind of like do these kinds of motions or these kinds of motions. It's also okay to like empty land shield. Like empty land shield actually goes pretty hard because of how much she has to call out because of her being slow. So things like this, like even jumping forward like this into like fast fall block can be an okay bait. It also works well when you're like moving away from her. But yeah, and then if all else fails, and like you still have access to your back air from various angles and fairs, and yeah, you just got a lot of stuff here. And you can see how much less chaotic this position has just become, right?
Yeah.
Because normally, like when we're like in this spot relative to, because like if we compare that to like how we normally fight her when we're like here, we're just like hittable.
Yeah.
But we don't have to be hittable. So yeah.
See, yeah.
So this is just like anti-DA spacing. This is like, yeah, and the cool thing here is like if she backs off to pull turnip by by moving away, like let's say she heads over here and she's like, I will pull turnip around here. We can just follow behind her because we're close enough.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I think that this match is like, I don't think that this match is like as, even though you get 4-stock, this match is not as like, I wouldn't doom her over this match. Like this is literally just a strategy, like a strategy hole. This is just not being in the right spacing. If you clean this up, I don't think that he's going to do that to you for a while.
I see. Yeah, I agree. Especially that last game, I was just in his face like the entire time, just getting destroyed.
Well, the interesting thing here is like, funnily, one of Zelda's main strengths, because I saw like the game you played here. Like, let's actually look at this because I wanna watch like a funny video as part of this, so I'm going to. But so we have Zelda here, and what we're gonna notice here is Zelda kind of like operates. So first of all, you're kind of like operating out like with a lot of the things I'm talking about. Like, we see the aerial into shield on landing to like punish the dash attack overreach. And Zelda just naturally kind of operates in close to the anti-dash attack spacing because of her like buoyancy. Because she can kind of like waft in from further away because she's like in the air for longer. See what I mean?
Yeah.
And then because she jumps over the dash attack like at a lot of these, or would like sour spot, like she's just able to do her thing more. So this is like this is one of the strengths of, like Zelda actually weirdly enough kind of naturally does that spacing in a lot of ways. Like, see what I mean?
Yeah.
She's just always there. So what we need to do is we need to like apply these Zelda tactics to like Sheik, and then the spacing will make sense. Because like you're basically with Sheik trying to like emulate the keep Peach within tipper back air, but that's not why this spacing is good. It's because you're shutting down her offensive options with the distance. The tipper back air is just like bonus on the cake in a lot of ways here. Like it's just icing on the cake here. But the real thing is that you're just naturally in the spot you want to be all the time.
Yeah. See.
Like, look at what does she do? So it's cool. We're like using Zelda to like learn about like Sheik. We talked about that move. No, you know better than that.
It's the Zelda brainworms. I don't know.
You know what? Well, you know what? It's like we're talking like a 2% efficiency increase. Like it's fine. No one is gonna look at you funny for like the inspiring there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like while we're just kind of like wrapping up this game here, thoughts about how today went, or like any feedback for me about like what we went over, or questions? What is this?
I think it went well. I'm glad that we got to both like briefly touch on like the Fox thing and also the look at these Peach games, because this isn't like a matchup I've super like practiced or like thought about a lot, even though like so it's good to have some like more concrete like ideas of what I should be doing exactly and like where I should be spacing. And I again like the diagrams and stuff talking about spacing is really helpful, because it's kind of hard for me to grasp those things without like a visual like that, I feel like. So just having like clear examples of like where to space myself and what are like the threats I'm spacing around is really helpful.
That's good. So I think that like let's formalize some of these into so that you have something actionable. I'm thinking that continuing. I would say begin to implement and build speed with the Spark bear baits and wall patterns versus platform camping. The big versus platform camping. Familiarize with key positions. Where Fox has holes in his fall zone, like basically the spaces where he comes off the platform, because that's where a lot of like the magic happens. And then a lot of that is, I'd also say, versus platform camping. Familiarize with the trajectories Fox cannot use to attack when you move under side plat. Attack you when you move under side plat. Yeah. Because that's like how a lot of this foundationally works.
Yeah.
The other thing now for the Peach stuff, I'm thinking fast fall tech skill. Fast fall away. Away from opponent when fairing. Another big one was build comfort with achieving the anti dash attack, I guess, spacing. Peach anti dash attack spacing versus Peach, and gain comfort. Try to figure out how close you can play in relation to it. How close you can push that without taking hits frequently. Aside from that, the other big one is aerial 1-2 punches versus Peach, e.g. falling bear into rising bear. And then tech skill. Dash forward, short hop, full hop / short hop back for contesting Peach float while being able to move forward. I think that's basic. Oh, and then the Peach edgeguard. I'm just gonna say Peach edgeguard flowchart. No, Peach edgeguard position concept draining height. I'm draining parasol height. Height with efficient movement around the edge. Alright, cool. So, I know that's a lot of stuff, but is this too much stuff? And or do you think that is it not enough stuff?
I think it's just right. I think we're in the Goldilocks zone.
Amazing. Swiz, that's my favorite thing to hear. I will leave you to it. And yeah, if you can find that third back air, no, the third back air to hit on her, then amazing. But in the meantime, I will let you go. And yeah, happy meleeing. Actually, 1 second. I'm going to cut the recording real quick.